All right, guys. I am live. This is Sherdog's UFC Vegas 92 recap show. I am your host. My name is Keith Shillan. Joining me normally is sorry. I had a little thing up on the side. I don't know if you guys heard that. I apologize about that. Joining me always, usually, is Ben Duffy. Ben is not available today. Before anybody asked, there was some storms in Houston. That has nothing to do with this. He was planning not being at the recap show, so he's fine for all those people concerned. Let's get into this, guys. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I'm going to try to lean on you guys as much as possible. Let's be honest. We talked on the preview show that this was not the biggest event that they could possibly have. It was a bunch of card fillers other than the main event. So we'll get to that. I'm going to try to make this probably a quicker card than usual, just because there's not a lot of divisional relevance. But we'll go down whatever path you guys want to go. Sometimes just talking to yourself can be a lot harder than people think. But let's get right into it. Main event, we had Edson Barboza, one of the top guys in the division, trying to keep his spot against rising. I don't want to say newcomer because he's been in the UFC for a while, but it seemed like a newcomer to the top of the division, or the upper echelon of the division, Lerone Murphy. It was a very close fight on paper. Lerone was a slight favorite. That was not the case in the actual action, as Lerone Murphy absolutely thrashed Edson Barboza, winning by unanimous decision. I had it. I think I had like 50-44, maybe 50-43. Like, it was super one-sided. It was a big test for Lerone Murphy, and I was looking at the comments here. I see where Marcus Mustard said, I'll throw his comment on the screen. The striking discrepancy was so large in the main event. I'd rather have seen Edson matched up in fun fights, not top elite of the division. That's the problem. Is we didn't know where Murphy was. I mean, the fight right before this, he took on Josh Kulabau. So this was the big step up. This was the test. And, I mean, he passed with flying colors. I mean, he aced this test. He looked so good. I liked a lot of the things that I saw Murphy doing. First, I mean, this was an absolute thrashing. I mean, it was, like I said, I scored every single round. From the only round that was maybe debatable was the first round, where Murphy won the entire thing, but the best strike was an up kick right at the end that actually looked like it really rocked Murphy. But other than that, the entire fight, a few leg kicks here and there, a couple of body kicks, stuff like that by Barboza, but it was Murphy. Murphy's boxing, was on point. And we saw very early on, it was a boxing match versus a kickboxing match. Obviously, Barboza, legendary kicker, he wanted to beat up that front leg. And early in the fight, I thought he was going to have some success because Murphy was not reacting to the kicks, just, taking kick after kick. And I was like, oh, man, he's not checking these kicks. Like, that, he might win these early rounds, but Barboza's going to start taking over when those legs, fail him. And that was not the case. Murphy was, it never failed him. He kept the pressure, forcing Barboza back, having to fight towards the cage. And then he was accurate. He was shooting these feints, was kind of freezing Barboza. And then he was, as he's freezing him, then he's beating him to the punch with his hand speed. Obviously, he's the younger fighter, but not just the younger fighter, but also has a lot of less miles. It could be like, a 2016 car versus a 2018 car. Like the age gap isn't, that big. I know. I mean, one's 32 and the other one's 39 to 38, 39. There's a pretty good size gap, but not like, it wasn't like a 24-year out there. But the miles, like that 2020 might have 20,000 miles on it, while that 2016 has 220,000 miles on it. To you Europeans, I don't know how you guys do it, like meters or some weird shit. Wherever Big Marcel's at, he can tell us. Murphy, you look at his record. The dude's 6-0-1 in the UFC. He's been in the UFC for 5 years. But he still feels like he just came out of nowhere, because he's had so many times off, injuries, and he got hit by a car, all kinds of crazy shit that's happened with this guy. I get that. What is he saying? Big Marcel says he can tell you where I'm at, but you still have no idea. Toss it out there. Let's test that theory there, Big Marcel. I apologize, you guys who listen to this the next day. You won't see all the things that we talk about in the chat. We're gonna try to go to the chat as much as possible. But so he says, yeah, fuck. I don't even know how to say that word. Never mind where it is. Maya Strict. Bob Shimpson is saying he wants to jump on. I don't know if he's being serious. I don't know if I trust him. I don't know if I can get the a lot of other people. I might say yes to that. Bob Shimpson. I'm not really sure. I might get fired. Bob Shimpson would probably talk about how he scored the fight for Edson Barboza because he how many times he headbutted Murphy's. Listen, but I don't know how to do this because I honestly, fuck it, dude. This card is so crazy. Dude, I'll have you on. Do this. Go to my Twitter and send me a private message, and I'll send you the link. And say, fuck it. Who cares? Let's see what happens, dude. He's in there enough. Jump on. Let's see what happens. Well, this might be a train wreck, but let me see if I can figure out how to invite him on. Oh, I wonder if I can send. I apologize. This is not the. Let's see. Nope, I can't send him that way. Can I send it like this? No. Yeah, hit me on Twitter. I'll have my Twitter up. If you send me a message, I will email you the link and screw. I still have the capability to pull him out if he does it. I don't want to bother Big Marcel. Big Marcel came on a couple weeks ago. Unfortunately, he kind of gets dragged in on some of the shitty cars. But let's get some of the things. This main event. What I really liked. Oh, you can't DM. I'm not verified, so you can't DM. Oh, yeah. Sorry, dude. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to do it otherwise. Well, do I have to follow you? Is that how's it go for you to be able to? So, guys, help me out. How can he DM me if he's not verified? Do we have to be friends, or how's that work? You think so? Well, can I don't know. Maybe it's not going to work. I don't know. Sorry. I'll just keep going. If we can figure it out, we'll figure it out. If not, sorry, I'm trying to read these. Yeah, drop your email in the chat, and then I'll send. Yeah, that's a good idea. Dev, drop your Bob, drop your email in the chat. I'll send it to you. Then I'll delete that comment so nobody will have the have it later on. All right. So I guess technically the people in it right now would see it, but if you want to do that, if you don't, I understand. But I'm going to keep talking about this. I'm sorry. I got kind of. You can unfollow if it doesn't work out. What? I got to follow him. Oh, then I'll just follow you on Twitter. What's your Twitter? Oh, it's right there. Okay. I'm sorry. This is not the best. He's the one of one. Okay, let me see if I can figure this out. I'm sorry, guys. I figured he's the one. Okay, I can't copy and paste. He's the one of one. He's the one. I'm assuming this is him. He follows me, so I'm assuming that's him. I'm following him. Okay, cool. Let's see if I can send this. Okay, I'm sorry. This is not the best radio, but it might get a little crazy when I get Ben. If you're watching, I apologize. You are definitely the more wise one than I am. Let's Let's see if I can. How can I? It will not let me send it to him. Maybe that's a warning. That might be the Lord telling me, don't send it to him. Okay, what is going on here? Copy. Why is it not letting me paste? What is going on here? Okay, let me refresh this. Maybe, I don't know. I definitely apologize for the person who listened for the very first time. I think this is how the show always is. I'm hitting copy. It's saying copied. Copy. And now paste. It's not letting me paste. Email. I don't know what's going on here. You know what? I hope Ford Destiny is not. I hope he's trolling. This is not the very first time. Fuck it, dude. Let's just ride. I'm just gonna talk. So in the main event, one thing I really liked about Edson Barboza, Lerone Murphy against Edson Barboza, was how intelligent he was. I might use an Internet Explorer. All right, guys, it's just not gonna work. I keep trying. Oh, here we go. Yeah, Bob Simpson probably gonna come in a minute. All right, just send it to you. All right, let's fucking start right over. I'm gonna back way up and start right over because I'm all over the place. We're getting a live guest on the spot, Bob Simpson. What I liked about Barboza is how intelligent he was. Anytime Barboza had a moment, then he came right back at him. He got right in his face, got pressure, never got any momentum going. He talked about that in the media day. He talked about, Barboza being a guy that gets a lot of momentum, can't let him going. And he did that. Like, he didn't let him get going. He didn't let him. All right, let's go. Ready for the ultimate troll? Bob Simpson, everybody.
What's up?
What's up, my man? How you doing?
What's up, man? We're doing all right.
All right. No wonder why you troll, because your camera looks terrible. You're like all clean that camera, my man.
Yeah, I'm about to get a new computer. So,
how old are you?
17, but I graduate.
That's yeah. Listen, I was 17 once too. I know why your camera's all why it's all glazed up right now.
Yeah.
Bob, where do you live?
California.
All right. Where? Yeah, that's where in California.
NorCal. It's like in the Placer County area. Rockland.
Rockland. All right. So going from Rockland, California. So it's what, about 7 o'clock there?
Yeah.
All right. So I got the see, if he starts saying crazy stuff like no he does, boom, he's gone. All right.
I won't. I only do that in chat because I'm like mad about my bets and stuff.
All right. So let's go. Tell me what you thought about this main event.
I thought Lerone looked good. I thought I feel like he should have finished him, but Edson's a crafty vet, so I thought it was a pretty good performance overall. I feel like Edson didn't kick a lot. I think he was I think he's a little injured. I thought he came into the fight injured because I saw those warm up videos like they film in the back, they post on social media. Yeah. I saw no kicks from him practicing, and then I see in the fight he was boxing a lot. He was boxing a lot. He was landing the jab and then the 1-2. He get the occasional body kick, and the low kick, but I feel like he should have utilized it more because Lerone wasn't really crowding the kicker as much as I thought he would. I think he was at his range, and that's why I found it impressive because he was picking apart at his range. I don't think that he wasn't pressuring like a lot of other guys would. And he was mixing the wrestling too. So
yeah,
it was just weird.
I want to disagree with the pressure. I thought he pressured the entire fight. I thought Barboza was really forced on, especially the second, especially like for like the third round on. I mean, he was on his heels and couldn't really get going. The kick game. The thing about kicks is once you throw kicks so hard, what is it? You have to type in the title of the podcast. What is Big Marcel talking about? You have a typo in the title of the podcast. Oh, do I? Oh, okay. Probably. That's because you know what happens when Ben's not around? Oh, there you go. I see what he's talking about. Nice job. Nice job, Big Marcel. That's why you're the best in the business. There you go. Thank you, brother. It's fixed. Should be fixed already. This fucking card is all the rails. Let's do this. Open invitation. If anyone else want to come on, we'll have a free for all. We'll do a Royal Rumble style. Like every 30 seconds, a new guest can come on and we'll be like, oh my god, look who it is. It's Portabon is coming in, and then Stacks S is coming in, and Ben Cooley's coming in, and we'll just keep doing it. That'd be freaking awesome. Yeah, I was super impressed. Like the way, I mean, he was landing with speed, power. I liked that he was mixing up his stances at some points late in the fight. I like that he. I mean, if I'm a coach, like I love that he was wrestling really late. Never gave Edson Barboza a moment to kind of like do those spinning wheel kick or do a flying knee or do anything like that. I really like that. This division is kind of wide open because when you had Alex Volkanovski as a champ so long, we kind of had all these contenders, face Volkanovski and got pushed down. But now with a new champion, it's wide open for anybody's taken. And we've seen Volkanovski, we've seen Yair Rodriguez, we've seen Brian Ortega, obviously Max Holloway. A lot of these guys, the buzz is not on them anymore. Like we've seen it. We always kind of want the new. This is the chance for Murphy to kind of have that. Now, I think he blew his moment by not calling out the, you're in the main event. You just had a spectacular performance. Why not call your shot? Call whoever it is, but call your shot.
Yeah, I think he should have called out Yair.
I'm glad you said that because we're going to get to matchmaking in a second.
Yeah, the thing is a lot of the top 10 is booked up, so it's a little hard for him at the moment. Yeah. But because like Josh Emmett's like declining everyone under him, so
Josh Emmett's declining everyone underneath him.
He is.
Yeah, which is kind of ironic considering he's the. I mean, yeah, he can crack really hard, but he's probably the less sexiest guy in the division.
Yeah, but he's like riding off like the hype of that knockout, and he wanted to sit out for the Max Holloway fight, but obviously he went up to 155 about Gagey, so
all right,
he's gonna have no choice.
So Big Marcel says if he was Lerone Murphy, he would have called out Emmett or Cater. I don't mind the Emmett.
I don't think he should take Cater.
I don't think he'd take Cater. I think Cater's behind him now. Not necessarily in the rankings, but just the run that Cater's on. Like he just got at UFC 300, didn't even land a strike, I think, against Aljamain Sterling. Right. He's never really got past the big guys other than probably Giga Chikadze. So to me, that's a step back from Barboza.
Yeah.
Not necessarily like I'm not saying it would be a like easier win or it might actually be tougher, but like the shine you'd get off beating Calvin Kattar beating Calvin Kattar, but just really nothing for anybody at this point in their careers. Maybe someone who's like really you don't expect to be in the in the rankings rising up, that could be a win. But at this point, to me, I think Lerone Murphy's already by him. So I actually, go ahead.
I think Cater and Font are like in the same position at this point because they're from like the England cartel. Like they were as contenders at a time, but they've like established themselves. Like they've hit a ceiling. They can't like make it to the top of the division. Like you see like parallels. Like you see like Rob, he's already like dropped. He already dropped a loss to the top 5. Cater did as well against Allen. So you see them fighting like the debutants in the weight class. Like they would prop them as a big test, but they've already gone to that territory of they're not a contender at this point. They're like a stepping stone for other like people they're interested in pushing.
Let me answer RC Kim. RC Kim, when you get a guest recap right now, come on in. Let's go. RC Kim, I think he's from another side of the world though. It might be. I think he's like honestly South Korea. I think, or I'm not really sure. So I like the Yair Rodriguez fight. I think that makes a lot of sense based on their styles. I'm putting it right in the spear. that spear card in September, it would line up right. It'd be it'd be 4 months from now, which would be about the proper turnaround for Murphy if he wants to kind of get back into it, which is what he needs to do. I don't know if he suffered any injuries or whatnot, but yeah, throw it on that card.
That's a reasonable time unless he gets injured again.
You're in Tokyo. Oh, you're in Tokyo. I'm sorry. I apologize for mixing up your country there. But yeah, I do it in the spear. Let's do that.
It's a good matchup. It's a pretty solid matchup for you. You probably takes it. It's a striker matchup, not really a wrestler, not primarily a wrestler.
At this point, I don't think it matters with the wrestling because I think earlier when he was facing like Frankie Edgar, that mattered. But those days are gone. I mean, he's faced against guys who wanted to take him down. And then he's also faced guys when, like, he made Jeremy Stevens looked at wrestling.
Yeah, round 3, Stevens was breaking him.
Yeah. So when you're the dynamic striker that he is, he's used to guys trying to wrestle him.
Yeah.
Josh Emmett was looking for takedowns at one point, and Josh Emmett has banned his wrestling a long time ago.
Yeah.
So that's what I would do. Barboza, I still think the signs are there. The signs are there for Barboza, having a little bit of slipping up. I'm not saying that's why Murphy looks so good. Like I always ask that question to Ben, like, hey, did this guy look good or did this guy look bad? In this case, I don't think so. Like, I think Barboza's slipping, but it's not making it's not making Murphy seem better than he is. I think he really is that good. Like, I think he's a top 10 guy who's going to continue to move up the rankings. I kept thinking the same thing when they were talking about, this guy been shot in the face 5 times. He's been ran over by a car. And I'm like, you know what? I'd still rather get ran over by a car than get kicked by freaking Edson Barboza. So, Rick Allen's going with the Jacob Irons rematch. So shout out to my boy Jacob. He actually came and trained with me afterwards because he wanted to learn how to wrestle, and that's what I can do very well back in those days. Not anymore. Though I was wrestling with a top 14-year-old kid in one of the best 14-year-olds in the country today. That's the guys I wrestle now. Guys that I got 100 pounds on. I got to pick my opponents wisely. Barboza, I think, and people like Marcus Mustard earlier said he wants to see fun fights. He doesn't want to see him against upper echelon. Marcus Mustard would hate me as a matchmaker.
Same, because I got the same idea as you. I'm throwing him against a young up-and-comer.
Yeah, I'm using his name. I'm always like, I'm going to use these guys as much as I possibly can until everyone knows for sure their shot.
It's what keeps the division moving.
Yeah, that's just how it is. And I'm giving him Diego Lopes. He's the new hot guy at 145.
Honestly, I'd give Lopez Cater.
That's everything for him. I think situation.
I'm giving him an unranked guy. Edson's Edson, by Monday, he's probably going to drop to like 14. So for every division, I have like a short list of guys. I take in all the factors. I take in like their notable wins, and like how, based on the matchmaking, I analyze and see like, are the UFC like trying to push them? So I have like a short list of guys that I know who are gonna, like, the UFC are trying to like in the ranked position their next fight. So the ones I have for 145, I think there's a few guys I have. I have Yusuf, John Silva, Brito, Melsik Bagdasaryan, Naimov, Onama, Danny Silva, and Sean Woodson.
Okay.
And
so who are you taking of those?
What I'm thinking is, so we seen John Silva is booked against Charles Jourdain, and we see Melsik Bagdasaryan's fighting Naimov in Saudi Arabia. I'd say just give him the winner of either of those matchups, in my opinion. I think
okay.
I feel like I give him John Silva if he beats Jourdain, because Jourdain is like a big name.
That's pretty quick for John Silva to go, very short time in the UFC all the way to Edson Barboza that quickly.
Assuming he beats Jourdain by
of course, yeah. Assuming he wins. But the problem is if Jourdain wins, you really don't want to do that matchup. It'd be fun as hell. It'd be fun as hell because Charles Jourdain is never in a boring fight, and Edson Barboza is never in a boring fight either. So
it's not if Jourdain wins. I think the UFC are done with Jourdain. I think it's John Silva.
No, I know you were saying John Silva. I know that. I'm saying, but like Jordan could ruin it. Like, no, I know what you were saying.
Yeah, he could, but he's gonna give him
Which
the
is
fight.
why I don't even like that matchup to begin with. I mean, it'd be fun as hell, but like, I don't want to go down that. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. But the point is, like, that's why to me, matchmaking is so important on who you do, because when you have a rising star, you want to put them against a name. So if they win, they get that bump. But if they lose, they lost to that guy. They didn't lose to a mid-tier guy without a name. You wanted to have a big name guy who happens to be mid-tier now, but hardcores will always know that they've fallen. Like, it was going back to like what I said about Paddy Pimblett. I'm like the only person on Twitter that thinks it's a terrible matchup against Bobby Green. I think it does nothing for the UFC because Paddy wins. It might actually win over some of the hardcore fans, but you never, ever dictate your matchmaking, your booking to the hardcores. You're always going to watch. I'm always going to watch. All the people in the chat right now are always going to watch. But my friend who watches like 5 fights a year, he's not always going to watch. And if you told me, oh, Paddy Pillman's fighting Bobby Green, he'd go, oh, okay, who the hell's Bobby Green? Or even if there's like, oh, yeah, Bobby Green. But if you mention Paddy Pillman's fighting Jim Miller, oh, man, Jim Miller, you market that. Oh, most wins in UFC history, all this stuff against Paddy Pimblett. That will win him over more, even though Bobby Green just beat the shit out of Jim Miller.
Well, I want to be like as realistic as possible. Like I see the UFC's agenda, and you just mentioned like Paddy and Bobby Green. They're trying to give Paddy the easiest matchup he can get in the top 15 because Bobby has this habit of, you described it, like he makes his fights way too close a lot of times. That's why he has a lot of split decision losses. They're trying to give Paddy like the best opponent he could get, because like Bobby, because Bobby, he's like, sure, if I don't get hit, I'm winning. So
yeah, but in fairness, he hasn't done that in a while. It's probably been that Clay Guida fight that was really close fight against Clay Guida, which was really
he lost to Moises.
When was that? How long ago was that?
It was back in 2020.
A while now.
Guida was before that.
Guida was before that.
Yeah. Fiziev. He.
Yeah, but that's against the stud.
Yeah, but he could have done more. Round 2 was pretty close.
Yeah, no. I think the fact that he was close is like Fiziev is way better than Paddy Pimblett. I think Bobby Green smashes Paddy Pimblett.
I think Fiziev was a very that was a winnable matchup for him.
Yeah, because Bobby Green's good.
Yeah,
I think Bobby Green smashes Paddy Pimblett. So that spoiler for when we do that preview, I'm taking Bobby Green. Now that could change, obviously,
because he's kind of like a mental nutcase. So it's
and going over there obviously gives Paddy Pimblett a little bit of advantage. But we're going down too far of a rabbit hole. Let's breeze through some of these other fights. These other fights we're going to kind of breeze through. I think I had an overall pretty good night at my picks. I went 8-4, though the main and co-main I completely flopped on. KS Williams in the co-main event took on Carlston Harris. Both me and Ben tried doing a unanimous upset, and it did not go well as KS Williams landed a huge bomb and knocked out Carlston Harris. One thing you don't do with KS Williams is try to throw it out of the pocket with him, because this dude got big power, and he showed. I think the worst thing that Harris did was actually right before that, Harris landed like a little overhand right that backed off. I wouldn't say backed up KS Williams, but maybe take one step back from that, and that built the confidence to keep going for the kill. And just don't do that against KS Williams, because KS Williams catches you. You have a guy like Carlston Harris laying on the ground afterwards, looking up at the ref, like not wanting to get up, like he got blasted.
Yeah.
Talk to me about this fight.
I picked Harris too, and I wasn't confident at all about it. Like I had someone that had like bets on. He had a parlay. I saved him, bro. I told him to cash out. He was like the last leg on his parlay. I told him cash out because Chaos could always he'll nuke him at any second. He's dangerous all rounds. But I felt like, because same reason why you had. I think Harris had more avenues to victory. He has very unorthodox striking. Like the way he was striking, it's been effective at this level for years because he strikes from like very weird angles, and he also hits harder than most people expect. Like he like knocked out like Impa and he has like he has power that not a lot of people expect. No one expect him to hit that hard, but he hits very hard. And obviously the grappling, like he used that against Jared Gooden, was able to cruise to a 30-27 decision. But yeah, well, not much to say about it except chaos just caught him. He shouldn't have been exchanging with him.
Well, let me ask you: do you believe in the guy? The guy's 6-2 now in the UFC. The guy's won 4 out of 5. He's knocking guys out left and right. I mean, like he's got to start. I mean, they put him in a co-main event tonight.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a really tough division. I mean, he's in that weight range. I always say like 135 to 170 is like the tough. That's murder's roll. So, like, I know when I ask someone, do you believe in them? It's like with a little bit of a depending on the division, but at 6-2 now, you can't ignore it. So, like, how far do you think he can go? You think he's a top 15 guy? You think he could be a top 10? Like, how far are we going?
I think he has the potential, but one thing I've noticed is he tends to struggle against guys who are like volume strikers. They have a higher output and they have a high output. And when he faces those guys like Randy Brown and what's his name, Michelle Pereira, they were always like circling around and they were kicking and throwing shots from the outside. And he tends to like freeze up a bit. We even saw against Rolando Bedoya last year. He has a very awkward style. He's like pull back, counter, and then like a circle away. He struggles against those guys, and and he also tends to chase for the KO too much. So I feel like he's at his best when he's a counter striker, in my opinion. And thing is, I don't think he makes it to the top 10. I definitely think he can make it to top 15 though with the right matchup.
So I'm going to give you the right matchup. I'm not saying he's going to win this matchup, but who they should do it next. So I want to have him tested with someone who has just as much power as he does, but a guy who's been a top 15 guy, kind of fallen. He might still be in the UFC rankings or whatever, but whatever. Kind of on the way down. I'm putting him against Jeff Neal. Let him and Jeff Neal throw it out and see who's the last one standing. Now tell me why I'm the best matchmaker there is.
Yeah, that's a good fight. Now that I think about it, yeah, he does have some decent matchups in the top 10 even, because Neal's in the top 10. He's not even just in the top 15. He made it to like the top 7 at one point in the division. I think Jeff Neal would probably be like a slight favorite to win that though.
Yeah, I think with his kicking game and everything, but I'm really excited about that. Like I said, pre-tape study going into this fight, it was one of those ones like, holy God, like Cass Williams has got more wins in the UFC than I think. And also I'm like, holy shit, this guy deserves like a ranked opponent now based on the way the run he's been on. So we got
MVP and Wonder Boy are gonna be nightmare matchups for him. Ian Gary too. Like they're like tailor made to beat him.
Yeah, the only thing I'd be worried about, I agree. I totally agree with that. The one concern I'd have against Stephen Thompson is his age. Like at any time, 1 or 2, he loses a little bit of speed as he gets older. It completely changes, especially because a guy who relies on timing and relies on athleticism so much. At any time, that could completely evaporate. Now, I hope not, because I love watching him fight. But let's hurry up through these because my boy Bob Shimson, his mom's going to tell him he's got to go to bed soon. So before that, Themba Gorumba took on Ramiz Brakima in the snoozer of the night with Gorimbo winning by unanimous decision. I'll make you our official stats guy. I probably smoked a little too much weed when I was your age to remember off the top. So did Brakima land a punch?
I don't think so.
I don't think he landed a strike. I don't know.
Over under 20. I think under.
Under 20? Oh, under 20. I don't remember him landing a shot.
No.
I mean, maybe something on the ground, maybe something in the clinch. Maybe
I was on my phone like half the fight.
Yeah, I don't blame you. This is what happened. So I've said this a million times, and anybody's ever watched the preview show has heard me say this. If you own a BJJ school and you want to have guys compete in BJJ competitions, cool. Like, start your wrestling with the, okay, I'm going to reach for a single. You're not going to defend it. We're not going to really drill. I'm going to grab your leg. You're going to fall down, or we're going to start on knees and fist bump. But if you want your guys in BJJ to actually compete MMA, you have to turn into a wrestling style BJJ. You got to be drilling takedowns. You got to have a coach with a whistle, blow the whistle, shoot a double, blow the whistle, shoot a double, blow the whistle, shoot a single, shoot a high crotch. Because this to me was a perfect example of a guy who's a decorated grappler in Brakima who wants to get the fight to the ground as possible, as quick as possible, who just can't because he doesn't know how to wrestle well. And Grim was just a better wrestler.
Yeah, I think the biggest, for me, I feel like a lot of it can be attributed to he's very undersized for 170. Like, he attempted, like, to drive
Actually, he's a more athlete. I don't think he's a good athlete on top of it.
He's not a good athlete either. But
so, I think it's like a little bit of checking all the boxes. A, B, and C.
Like Bilal Muhammad build.
He's built like Bilal Muhammad?
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this. Grimmo's won three fights in a row. Portabans is saying she doesn't understand the hype of Garimbo.
I don't think he's that good.
I'll say this: what he does good, this is gonna sound, I'm not sure how to word it, but what he wants to do, he does pretty well. Like, he wants to be a top side grappler. He's pretty good at that. He's so big, his frame can always be an issue, especially if he starts adding skills to that, because you can only get so tall. You can only have so many long arms. You can't be an out fighter and say, oh, I want to use my reach if you don't have reach. Like, he has those things. If he can continue to develop his skills, he's someone I can believe in a little bit. I mean, he's not young. He's not young, so that's the thing that's going against him.
He's 33.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's not young.
If he was younger, I'd be more high on him.
Yeah, if he was 23.
Yeah.
The best thing about this fight was probably the speech, the post-fight speech.
That was
where
weird.
He went after all that. I think he went after you personally when he was talking about the trolls on the internet, and he was like, "Death is coming for you guys." He went like, it felt like, you're probably too young to get this reference, but you ever seen the movie Tombstone?
Nah.
Okay, well, first of all, you got to watch that because that's an incredible movie. But there's a scene where the guy who plays Wyatt Earp, he tells the bad guys in the movie that death is coming for him, and he goes, "I'm coming for you, and hell's coming with me," and that's what it reminded me of, like this Grim Reaper speech, and I was like, holy shit! Like, it got super dark for a second, and he wanted all the people on the internet to die. Shit, I'm like, oh my gosh, and hell's and hell's coming with me. Let's do the next fight. Adrian Yanez versus Vinicius Salvador. Yanez winning by first round TKO.
Salvador looked kind of good. He looked
until he was unconscious.
Until he wasn't.
What I like that and I've said that in the previous show, he's still wild, but now he's just like a normal wild fighter. Well, before he was like the craziest wild fighter, throwing the craziest punches I've ever seen. Like, he's cleaned that up a little bit.
I don't like how he's been doing this since his last fight. I don't like the fight against CJ Vergara. I don't like this trying to imitate Anderson Silva with the head movement. That's just gonna.
Well, yeah. Well, there's a reason. Like, I saw this video, and it was Michael Jordan giving instruction when he was coaching when he was the owner of the Washington Wizards. And one of the basketball players were talking about, Jordan said, when you come around the corner, do this, do that. And he like explained something. It was extremely complicated. He's like, just do that. And they're like, all the rest of the players like, yeah, we can't do that. like Michael Jordan couldn't comprehend that it wasn't super easy for them to do. And it's like, yeah, because you're different. Anderson Silva is different. He's that truly 1%. I saw DC commenting, talking about UFC fighters and putting himself in the 1% category. Yeah, Anderson Silva's in that 1%. and Salvador isn't. Giannis, I mean, this fight was obviously the way Salvador fights. He lives by the sword, dives for it. He wants to land a big shot or get caught. And obviously, Giannis caught him. It was a beautiful knockout. He was a guy that had not that long ago, had a 2021, 2022,
I
had a
was
lot of
never
hype.
high on him. I was never high on him. I picked Rob Font to beat him.
You pick Rob Font. Well, a lot of people are high on him. I know Ben, obviously, he's from Ben's area, so Ben's really high on him.
Well, I got it. I get it. I mean, I saw his knockouts, but I saw Costa jabbing him. I'm like, can't Rob Font do that?
I think there is some built-in excuses, like the whole Metro fight team, your coach dying, him trying to run a gym.
Don't tell Ben that.
No, I think there's a lot of excuse. I'm saying like that's a good excuse. Like Ben kind of throws that excuse out there. I think that's a good excuse. Like it's valid.
Yeah.
Adding Eve Edwards as a coach, just taking off those responsibilities. I think that's a good thing for his career. I'm a little probably in between you and Ben, where Ben's a believer and you're you're not a believer. I'm probably somewhere in between. I think there were some good things when you're relying on timing and slipping and it is when you're trying to slip punches, it's a very dangerous situation you've done. It's great because it puts you in position to land a big shot, but it's so much about timing. You have to keep your head right in there to the last second till you slip so you can counter. So it's like you're playing. It's dangerous. It's very dangerous. Obviously tonight it was a great moment. One thing I didn't like, I don't know if you saw this, when Vinicius was kind of fainting him, he was really biting on him and dipping way down to the right. And I'm like, dude, if Vinicius throws like a feint to the right and comes with a high kick on the left side, I think he would have knocked him cold with a high kick because it was right there. So that's the things I'm a little bit worried about. I think they should slow roll him. I don't want to see him go right back to like a big fight. Like I saw
in the middle. I'm giving him like Ayman Zahabi. That's what I would do.
Yeah, I might even go that high. I might just go like I didn't have a name written down, but like just a mid card guy. Like I know even Zahabi's probably up his name. Zahabi's on this. I don't believe in Zahabi, but he's on this like late career third.
Beat Javi Basharat, so
yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like he's on this. Like I keep saying, like how is this happening? But he's on this like quiet winning streak that it's like you kind of have to give him, give him some love. I kind of want Giannis to fight another guy like Salvador, like a lower level guy, and just and slowly roll him back in, see if he excels. Chris Taioni was terrible in this. He let this fight last way longer than it had to.
Dom Cruz is like, that was a good stoppage.
Yeah, get over it, dude. Yeah, I mean, he probably landed 3 or 4 more big strikes that didn't have to be landed. All right, so I'll go to the fight that I will be honest with the listeners. This is the fight that I listened to. I watched less than any other fight on the card.
I didn't watch it. I was watching the Tyson Fury fight.
Yeah, I was too. I was watching the Tyson Fury fight too. So I had both my computers next to me, so I kept going like this back and forth. Angela Hill beat Luana Pinheiro, winning by second round sub. Hill has won 3 out of the last 4, not against the biggest names, but this was probably the best one that she's beaten on that run. I'll say this: she's 39, and listen, I am not a Angela Hill. Like Ben has always been much bigger on Angela Hill than I am. I've never been like I'm not pretending like Angela Hill is like going to do one of these end of her career Glover Teixeira rise to the title and win it. Like I'm not believing that. But I'll say that
believes that. I mean,
no, I know. I just put that out there. But I'll say this: she's looked better. She has added skills that she didn't have before.
Right, the grappling.
That's exactly what I was getting to. Go ahead, talk about it.
You've seen that. I mean, we saw that her use against like Denise Gomes, and we saw a lot here. Apparently, she took her down prior to it, and then she attempted multiple guillotines. She got her with the guillotine. It looks like.
Yeah, I was impressed that she understood the hip control going against a judo person. To whatever you do, you have to stay in front of the hip. If you get behind the hip, and what I mean by that is like basically like think about you're wearing jeans, that back pocket. your body cannot be where that back pocket is against a judo person, because if it is, you're most likely going to get thrown.
Yeah,
And she really understood that. Huh?
They're gonna use like the momentum, like the position of your body, like
yeah. So my son does judo too. So my son wrestles, does judo. I'm in a wrestling judo team. Like we're the top one in New England. I'm there like 4 or 5 days. I practically live there. I love it. And I never did judo, but I understand. I kind of understand it. But my son does it, so now I'm around it all the time. So I really, I understand judo. She really, and that years ago, I would expect her to got thrown on her head, and she was beating her to where the hip position was. She was winning the inside clinch. She was controlling the inside. Just things that would have been kryptonite for her before. I really think Pinheiro on the feet did something. She was looking too much for one punch. She was really trying to time her coming in. The thing about Hill, she's never really been a girl. I'm sure that we can go through some record find, but I'm saying she's not a girl that you catch her with a big shot. That's never been her kryptonite.
She's always tricky in striking matches.
That's what I'm saying. Like she's never been durability has never been her issue. And trying to time her coming in, Hill saw that, and Hill made adjustments. And she started fainting, and she was throwing kicks instead of just coming in with the strikes. And it just became easier and easier for her. And her foot movement, she changed up her rhythm. And I just like Angela Hill. Like again, I was looking more at Tyson Fury fight, but I thought she looked great. And congratulations to her for getting the first sub. And they were saying that she's going to be in the top 10. And I was kind of watching the boxing match. So did they say that the first time she's ever going to be in the top 10?
But that's just wrong.
I don't know. That's what I'm asking you, because I was kind of watching, but they were taking a big deal about her going in the top 10. But she's probably been lower top 10.
She has a win over Loopy. She's in number 10. She'll probably
she's probably been in top 10 before, right?
Yeah, like Michelle Watterson. She main event against Watterson. Didn't like Lemos get to the top 10 by beating Angela Hill?
I mean, maybe. I don't really. So listen, I don't pay attention to the top 10 rankings. One, because they're trash. Two, because I focus more on the Sherdog rankings. Now I know someone could get a insert joke about me not knowing the Sherdog rankings, even though I am a voter on the Sherdog rankings. So I vote almost every week on what changes we should have. So Marcel, would you guys call this a fraud check for Luana? Popular word these days. That is true. That is like a newer thing that people saying all the time. Yeah, I actually would. I really would, because to me, this was probably the toughest opponent that she was going to face that I thought was a winnable fight for her. She looked terrible. Like I don't care if she lost and we had moments. She didn't have a moment in this fight.
Yeah. Well, this is just like the matchmaking like the UFC do. Like they give you lose your step up, let's put you against a hard veteran. And it looks like a lot of prospects, they tend to lose those fights right after, because I feel like they lose a lot of the confidence they had. And then once they fight a veteran, they fail to adjust to it. And it just shows how legit they are if they were able to get past a vet. And she just couldn't against Hill. She looked worse against Hill than against Rebus. I agree.
I agree, because she had moments against Hebus, and she was doing well early in that. And then she started slowing down, and that's when Hebus took over. And then eventually,
she's always had bad cardio. Sam Hughes, if Sam Hughes had more like finishing upside, she probably would have finished her late.
Yeah, I agree. I think she looked better in against Hebus than she did in this fight. I mean, she got stopped. In both fights. But think about all the fights that Angela Hill has had. For her to be the one name on the list to be submitted, that's not good.
Yeah.
Real quick, this is a boxing podcast. Give me a 1 sentence summary of the boxing match. What's your thoughts on the boxing match?
I scored it a draw. I thought it was a great fight. I feel like Fury lost focus in like the mid rounds. Like which round did he get dropped? Like the 9th round or
The
something?
9th round. Yeah, I was entertained. I was entertained by it though. I'll say that. I don't listen. I'm not a boxing guy. Like I don't even know how to say the other guy's name. Usyk or something.
Usyk, Alexander Usyk.
Yeah. I don't pretend to be a boxing guy. Like I've boxed and I've spent a lot of time boxing, and I understand the techniques of it, but I don't follow the sport. Like I don't follow who's who, and I'll get sold every once in a while for a big fight I try to watch, but like I'm not gonna watch they were promoting another fight a month from now. I'm probably not gonna watch that.
Yeah, I think Tyson Fury sold. I think he's sold.
You think what?
I think Tyson Fury sold. I thought he was on his way to winning. He was on his way to win, but he like
and then he got blasted, and I mean that's the great thing about combat sports. Yeah, I had him winning up to that point, and then I think I gave him the 12th round, but I gave the 9th, 10th, 11th round all to Usyk.
I like what he was doing with the body shots. The jab, obviously, that's like a common thing he throws, but I like because he centered his game plan around the body shots. That was good by him because Usyk has like historically shown a weakness to body shots. I don't know if you knew that, but yeah, he was.
They said that in the broadcast where he kept going down, especially in the, like rounds like 6 through 8. He was having a lot of success. When Usyk caught him, like at that point, Tyson Fury was cruising. Like he probably won like 3 rounds in a row or something like that. So 4 rounds in a row. I had Usyk winning by 1 point. I had 6 rounds each, with Usyk winning, the 9th round like a 10-8 round. So that's how I get him the 1 point advantage. I was entertained.
Yeah.
While this is what I loved, while the Usyk and Tyson Fury was in the cage, both guys were physically in the cage. Tom Nolan and Victor Martinez starts walking out. They get in the cage. They fight their entire fight. And Tyson Fury and Usyk still don't even throw a punch at each other. They didn't even get to their face-off yet. That's how long boxing freaking intros are. So Tom Nolan took on Victor Martinez. Tom Nolan won by first round TKO. Wasn't perfect. He did get briefly dropped. Everything else was just a one-sided slacking. Guy's only 24. I like him. I think he showed, again, durability is a little bit an issue. Like I'm worried about that, but he's an athletic guy. He's fast. Obviously, he's got length. I mean, he's huge, 6'3", so the guy's huge. I liked how relaxed he was. He's faster. He's very more athletic. Again, Victor Martinez, like the very bottom of the battle of the UFC talent.
Yeah, he's probably the worst lightweight on the roster.
But this is what you're supposed to do to him. Like, yeah, he got dropped.
You're supposed to get dropped by him.
Yeah, but you know what? I can go back to like many guys in their careers getting dropped. And do you remember Ian Gary got dropped by who's the guy who dropped Ian Gary?
Song Kanan.
Was Song Kanan? Yeah. And Max Griffin was Max.
Song's a solid vet. I knew he was gonna be a little tough for Gary.
Like mid card guy at best, maybe.
He beat Bedoya better than Chaos Williams did.
Huh?
He beat Rolando Bedoya.
Yeah, but you can do it all day. Yeah, but you can do it all day. I can go to Matt Hughes lost to Dennis Holman twice.
I mean, he's been a reliable like top 40, 35-ish welterweight for years now. Like he's only lost to like good guys. I mean, Morono and
I'm gonna say this again. Matt Hughes, like a top 5 welterweight ever, one of the greatest champions ever, lost to Dennis Holman
3 times.
Twice.
Yeah.
Look
at the regionals though.
Gerald Mershot lost to Jay Ellis. Jay Ellis is like,
he also lost to Sam Alvey too.
His record is like 13 and 115 or something like that. That's his record.
I'm sure that dude throws fights.
Oh yeah, of course he does.
Yeah.
Well, it's not that he throws fights. It's he doesn't train. He like he's like, what is he doing on a Saturday night right now? He's drinking at a bar somewhere, and they just call him up, and he's like, "Yeah, have you trained at all?" Like, as he's answering the phone, he throws some punches in the air, and he's like, "Yeah, I've been shadow boxing and shit." Like, he doesn't train.
I mix him up in Crazy Horse, like Charles Bennett.
Charles Bennett supposedly knocked out Vanderlei Silva.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the age of Nolan. I like some. I'm not saying he's gonna be a champion or anything, but I love stepping. I love stepping knees. So anytime you throw a stepping knee, like to me, I think it's the best. One of the probably my favorite. Go back to shout out to my boy Dave Jacob Arm Stewart. We used to do the show way back in the day. You were probably in elementary school then. And we always thought he'd always say step in knee because I'd get all excited when someone threw a step in knee. But again, I am worried about his durability. If he doesn't have durability, he's not going to go far in the sport, especially when he goes against the upper echelon, better guys. But before that, Umar Sy took on Tuko Tokos, winning by first round sub. Tokos, he flew from South Florida to Abu Dhabi, got off the plane, got a call from his manager saying, hey, do you want to be in the UFC? Jumped right back on a plane, went to Las Vegas, and weighed in to probably not land a single strike.
Yeah, I mean, he's not very good. I mean, I saw that dude on road to UFC against Jongmin Yang. He was like a minus 400 favorite, and then he got flatlined. So,
yeah, I was going to ask the same question. Does he train? Because the guy made weight, and he was one of the. I think they said he was the first guy to weigh in. I didn't watch the weigh-in show, but the weigh-ins for this one. But
yeah, he weighed in.
No. They said he was the first one to weigh in.
Oh well, I don't watch.
I didn't watch it either. I didn't watch it. The big pay-per-views I try to watch and stuff, but I'll say this about Sy. He's well-rounded. The guy's, I've seen his regional stuff. He's a good striker. He's very athletic. I had him by sub. I watched his fights. He always puts guys in like body triangles and stuff. He's a good wrestler, man. He shoots on the hips. He gets those legs in. We see exactly this. He won by first round. This is what he's supposed to do, against a guy who get tossed in last moment. But to Sy's credit, I think Sy had 3 different opponents for this card.
He did.
For his UFC debut, I'm sure there's some jitters and everything with that. We didn't see a stand-up. Like, this is a guy, that division, light heavyweight, I mean, it's not the hardest division to kind of rise up the rankings. I like this guy.
He reminds me of Mansour Barnoui with how he, like, sweeps from bottom.
Yeah, I saw his very last fight before he got in the UFC, he swept the guy.
Yeah, he's like Mansour, like that Bellator guy.
Yeah.
He's like known for his own like custom, like he's like his own like trademark sweep, like the Giggler sweep. He hit on Islam Makhachev back in the day.
Yeah. No, this guy looks good. I
don't see much of his striking, so yeah, I just see his.
No, I really like his kicking game, but especially his leg kicks. I like this guy. I mean, like again, take it for what it's worth. He passed the test of a UFC debut. Hopefully, he'll get a tougher matchup yet. Before that, Melissa Gatto took on Tamiris Vidal, winning by 3rd round TKO. You can say it. She beat the titty off of her.
That was weird.
And she won by 3rd round TKO when she punched her in the breast. Vidal stepped back. Had like a delayed reaction to the breast pump. It wasn't like immediately. And turned back, and Chris Taglioni jumped in. This is a shellacking. Gatto, this is one of the easiest fights on the card to pick. This is one both me and Ben said, this is going to be a beatdown. Obviously, Gatto moving up in weight. I hope she stays at bantamweight. She looked better. It's an easier division.
Yeah.
She looked fast. She's big enough. It was definitely, and what I like some things like she showed that she was, she's one round and she's faster. She got takedowns. She didn't rush the takedowns. She didn't rush the position when she worked slowly over time, get to the position. I loved in the second round when she, right at the end of the round, there was about 5 seconds left. She hits the clacker at the 10-second mark. And that's when she went for an armbar. It was like perfect, like high, you always say high risk, low reward. This was the high reward, low risk. You lose position. That's the perfect time to do it. I always say, why do people do that enough? Because you lose position, but you lost it for 5 seconds. Big deal.
Exactly, yeah.
And she almost, if she had 5 more seconds, she might have finished that armbar.
Yeah, she probably would have. Vidal sucks.
Yeah. Like I said, do you agree with me that she should stay at 135?
I think she looked good. Her frame was pretty filled out. I feel like she has futures in both divisions. I'd say go back down to 125. I think she has finishing upside in both. Like she has like 100% finish rate. It's pretty good.
I'll tell you why she should stay at 135. 125, the champion right now is Alexa Grasso. 135, the champion is Raquel Pennington. You tell me who right now, who would she, somehow she got a phone call. Which one could she beat right now? Now, I'm not saying she would beat either one of them.
She's not beating either one.
I don't know. No, but I'm saying, but if you had to place a bet, who would you bet on? Her over someone gave you $10 to place a bet on, or $100 to place a bet on her. Wouldn't you pick her over Pennington?
I feel like she have a better chance of Grasso. I mean, real.
Really? I think
I feel like Raquel just grinds her out. Raquel's very underrated.
Right, I agree that Raquel's underrated, but she's also very.
I think she just grinds her out. I don't like Grasso's just like I think Gatto can like get takedowns on Grasso, and I think on the feet it's like they're both solid strikers. So
Porterbands, when are we getting you on the broadcast? I think we got to get you in next time. Next time I'm going solo, I'm bringing you on. I should have brought you on just for this one segment so you could tell us. All right, let's breeze through. Before that, Abus Magomedov took on Warley Alves, winning by unanimous decision.
I don't feel better about Abus.
You don't?
No.
Yeah, we when I talked about Murphy versus Barboza, I said Barboza is slipping, but I still think that showed that Murphy's up echelon. I kind of agree. Like one thing I can say about this is Warley Alves is shot. He's absolutely shot. Yeah. He does nothing good anymore. The only thing he has anything left is probably a guillotine. If you can avoid a guillotine,
he has a nice body kick.
I think he kicks hard, but he's wild. He's slow. He loads up. There's some things I liked that I saw in Magomedov. The push kicks, using his length with push kicks, something I always liked. And I like the shucks. Like he had moments when Alves was locking up when he was doing the old wrestling shucks, or some people would call slide bys. I like that. Like that's something you see really good wrestlers. So he understands the position and balance. I like that. But I'm with you. Like, I'll say this: Alves tried pressuring him in times, and I was worried about that with Magomedov, like because he hasn't handled pressure. But when you look at who he's lost to, Sean Strickland and Bojado, like that's the top of the division.
Yeah, but Abus got away with it because he just shot. Once he got uncomfortable, he just shot for a takedown.
It was the pressure.
He able to get it.
Yeah, I agree. So that's why, like, we don't know what he is because he's lost to those guys. But like beating this guy, it's like, to me, it feels like
it goes the same way though. It goes the same way for fights those guys because they have a good takedown defense. So he doesn't have that second option if I'm gonna shoot under if I don't like this pressure. And nothing he showed me is special because I already know this guy can wrestle for 3. We've seen him wrestle for 3 rounds. He's fine. Like against Sadabusi back in PFL, like he wrestled, he comfortably won a decision. But it's different when he's like striking because he's like, I've noticed about a lot of these Dagestani guys, they have like fast twitch muscle fibers. They're explosive. But this guy, I don't think his striking is just not the same. Like he can't pace himself as well when he's striking because he's so explosive. I feel like he's more conditioned to wrestle. So I don't think it really showed me anything new.
Like, I agree. I agree. The problem is like you have a guy who's in the NBA and he's struggling in the NBA, and you just basically set him to like the playground outside the NBA, and he's dropping 40 against like junior high kids. Like I don't feel better about him when he plays against the Celtics. That he's suddenly he's going to be banging 3-pointers against them. It's like
he's good enough to dominate shot Warley Alves. I mean. That's it. He couldn't even knock him out in the first round. Like that's like we all expect him to knock him out early.
Yeah, no, we're in agreement. Like it's cool that he won, but yeah, he did a couple things I liked, but yeah, overall I'm with you, man. Like I don't feel better about him moving forward. Like I would have felt really bad if he lost to Warley Al. So at least I know he's better than that.
He did like the bare minimum to win, for being real.
All right. Before that, Ariane Canellosi took on Pierre Rodriguez, and the most controversial moment of the night as Pierre Rodriguez got disqualified by landing 2 headbutts back to back against Canellosi. Let's do this. Let's hold a DQ for a second. Let's talk about what we did see before that. I mean, Rodriguez was dominated. Like, she was faster.
Yeah.
She was landing takedowns. She was sticking and moving. What I was really surprised is how, I mean, I knew she was, I mean, in the notes, I said they felt really similar, but the advantage she had against how easily she controlled Canellosi against the cage, was winning the hand battle, winning the clinch battle. Everything was going exactly how she wanted it. What did you think of her performance before the DQ?
Well, she was doing what you're supposed to do to Canellosi. I mean, if you just set aside like her physique, like Canellosi, she's like, she's not very good. Pierre was favored to win this pretty handily, and I'm gonna be real, I didn't really watch the fight.
Well, what you didn't see then is at one point in the second round, after a big clinch battle in the second round, Rodriguez got a takedown, and I don't know what she was thinking. She was in the closed guard of Canellosi. She headbutts her. I don't remember who the referee was. Was it Mark Smith? Maybe, I think it was Mark Smith. Yes, it was Mark Smith. He warned her to not headbutt again, and then immediately after, she headbutted right away. And I go, it looked like freaking like vintage Mark Coleman at like UFC 10. It was back-to-back headbutts, boom, boom, and Canellosi couldn't.
And it's just a language.
No, but what, this isn't your first fight in the UFC, and you came from a different organization that allowed this, or not that there is any out there. Not that I know of. I'm sure there is somewhere, but like she's been like that you're not allowed to headbutt. Now if it was just one headbutt, I'd be okay with a no contest, because you say, yeah, I was trying to gain position and I kind of slipped into it. Okay, you can like say that happens. I get it. I was trying to underhook underneath, and I don't know. I didn't control my weight and my head hit her. Okay, fine. But she did it right away again. Immediately, it was like, bam, warning, bam, right again, like back to back. And one thing I love, she gets up and she goes, "Oh, she says something." But she said, like, she like tried to argue in her case, like, "Oh, I slipped position. I was trying to grapple or something." And then she's like, she looks at her, she goes, "Oh, so there's drama now, like, really, about Canellosi being hurt?" But right before that, she hurt Canellosi with a front kick right to the face. Canellosi was hurt bad. She was kind of going to get Canellosi, went down. She kind of fell into the closed guard, was being very aggressive, and then 2 headbutts right away. There's no other way to call this fight than a DQ. Like, it had to be a DQ. It couldn't have been a no contest because it was intentional. Now, did she have was it intentional, like where she's saying, "Hey, I want to do something illegal right now"? No. I just think it was like a lapse of judgment, or so, I don't know, heat of the moment. Like, I don't get what was going on, but this was one of the easiest DQs I've seen.
Yeah, well, 2 consecutive headbutts. Yeah, not much more to it. Should have been a DQ.
Yeah. You won't get this reference, but Canellosi reminds me of the old 1980s Dino Bravo, where she do you get that reference?
No.
Okay. So Dino Bravo was a professional wrestler, but he was supposedly like the like strongest man and stuff, and he would challenge other wrestlers to like bench press competitions and like push up competitions and shit. Like, Canellosi, that's how I feel about her. Like, I'd rather watch her have like a bench press competition against, like Kayla Harrison. I want to say Kayla Harrison and Canellosi have a bench press competition. I'd rather have that than watch her fight.
Have them do power slap.
Oh yeah. Marcel, what did she say exactly? Some big Marcel saying, she's on Instagram talking shit to Ariane and not taking personal responsibility. Do you know exactly what she said?
Isn't that what they all do?
Yeah, they all do, of course. But yeah,
I wouldn't-
you'd win more fans over. You
Vincent
said,
Danger.
"I'm sorry." Even if you said I slipped, I was trying to adjust and I slipped, but I have to control. I have to control my weapons. I apologize, and hopefully we get to run it back. Something like that. It would look better than trying to talk shit. Before that, Alatang Haley took on Clayton Rodriguez, winning by unanimous decision. Man, Rodriguez. Well, I'll say about Haley.
He has so much potential.
This is a matter of IQ versus bad IQ because Haley saw a striking battle, goes, yeah, like maybe I could strike. He had moments striking against him, but I will have a much easier way if I wrestle. And then he went right to the wrestling. And then what was, was very smart of him. And then you get Rodriguez down 2-0 on most people's cup.
Great shot for a takedown last minute.
Goes for a takedown to initiate a clinch just to get taken down when he was actually having his best moment. Like, what are you doing, dude? You need a knockout. Why you? First of all, even if you got the takedown, were you gonna? Do you think you would have sub him? Like maybe, I guess you could probably pull a sub, but
he has some pretty good attempts, but like he had a better chance to knock him out on the feet.
Yeah, his best chance was that flying knee that he threw a couple times.
Haley was entertaining a striking match. He was entertaining a striking match. Like he thought he was like trying to mix it up a little bit, like shoot a takedown like at the end. Like he was trying to test him out.
Yeah, maybe you throw that flying knee and maybe Haley goes for the takedown they kept going for, and you just time it perfect and you knock him out. That was your only chance. Clinching was stupid. I will say this, and I understand Joe Rogan's argument of if you want to get, you don't want to get off bottom, get up yourself. Like, don't let the referees. I think there's some truth to that. On the flip side, that's not how there is an opportunity for the referees to stand them up. So, like, put that to the side. I think there's a case where I think Herb Dean should have stood him up with coming up. There was a lot of doing nothing on top. There was a lot of stalling, like doing little peppered punches to the ribs for like 3 minutes straight. I think you could justify stand-ups by Herb Dean. I don't think he helped out Rodriguez. That said, you can't count on the referee doing that. It's referee's discretion. So I think he needed to find somebody. I would have rather, if I was a coach, had my fighter give up their back and get sub trying to get out than just being held down for. If we had him all the time, I don't know, 10 minutes, 11 minutes of the fight, he was on the bottom, pinned down, doing nothing. Yeah. I think one time he tried rolling underneath for a, grabbing the leg, but like in 10 minutes, that's the only thing you tried, like one attempt to get up.
Yeah, that's been like one of Clayton's problems. Like what lost him with CJ Vergara, he's too comfortable off his back on bottom. He's too comfortable down there. Like he always relies on sub attempts, but then Haley was able to posture up, and then he was able to just pass and just nullify it.
And he's not even good there. Like he can't get on bottom. Like he has no he doesn't create space, hip highs, create a scramble. Like this dude. Like, I don't know what the word is, but whatever the complete opposite Bo Nickel is, that's what he's like, the arch nemesis or the in alternate universe. He's the Bo Nickel because dude's wrestling is terrible. And the first fight of the night, Vanessa Demopoulos took on Emily Ducote, winning by split decision. I love this fight. This fight was fun as hell.
Yeah, this is a good fight.
Both fighters had their moments. I had it 29-28 for Ducote, but I'll say this, and I checked on my decision. My decision had 13-2 for Emily Ducote, but it's like even that is deceiving because I think if you asked all 13 guys, I was one of them who put the scorecard out there and had it for Ducote. Like I think I could watch that fight 10 times.
No, not robbery. That's not.
No, definitely not robbery. No, definitely not robbery. But I'm saying like I could watch that fight 10 times. I might score it for Demopoulos 5 of those times because to me all 3 rounds were very close.
Demopoulos has such good optics for like
she throws hard.
She throws hard. She goes forward. She pressures. She makes she tricks these judges. Like she's not even landing a lot of them, and when she does, she lands hard. And like it's just good optics for these judges. That's why she's won like every like close decision she's won in the UFC.
Yeah, well, so Big Marcel said no, Robbie, but definitely wrong decision. But Big Marcel does not score. He doesn't know how to score fights. So, I mean, in fairness, it's like to his credit, it's like a language barrier for him. So he doesn't understand. But it's one of those. I'm okay. Like I said, I scored it for Dakota, but I had no problem. And I actually had a feeling that, as you said, the optic was on our side. And I'll say this about Demopoulos: her striking has come such a long way to the point where her issue, if she can get the fight to the ground, she's so flexible, she's very good submission artist, very opportunistic, but she's that Brazilian jiu-jitsu, doesn't know how to wrestle, don't know how to get it to their world. But to her credit, she has made herself a much better striker. If she could just move her head a little bit,
Yeah.
because her defense is just continued offense.
This reminded me a lot of the Jinyu Fry fight. Like Dakota and Fry are like the way cleaner strikers, but
that's a good call. That's a very good call. And it was a very close fight, could have went either way, where a lot of people gave the cleaner striking. But you have to remember, we are watching it from the best angle every time. We're getting the camera. You have the, you know how it is. You go to the arena, there's a huge truck outside. They have the producer, they're changing. All right, go to camera 4, go to camera 2, they're giving all the perfect angles. A judge doesn't get that. A judge gets one angle. Now I know they have the monitor and stuff, but you're not gonna keep going like this. And if I've heard people argue that the judges should be in like another area watching the TV. I think that without the commentary, I think there's some argument. Like a fair argument for that, but
they probably see like the effective like shots, like when people are like down like on bottom, they probably see like the damage like they're inflicting.
Yeah, so Big Marcel just said what I said. They have the video in front of them, but they never use it. Yeah, because it's people punching and kicking right above you, like stomping on the canvas and stuff. But actually, Big Marcel's put him in a bunker. I think Big Marcel's the one who always argues that to have a bunker or something like that. I was impressed with the cardio of both these fighters. I thought it was a war. I'll say
Dakota got hurt every round.
Huh?
Dakota got hurt every round.
Yeah.
It wasn't a good look either.
Say this about Demopoulos, but she's kind of getting in that Chaos Williams. Now, let me finish what we're saying. I'm not saying she has a knockout point or anything, but I mean that she has a better record in the UFC than you think. She's won 5 out of the last 6 fights in the UFC.
Yeah, well, if you're Carolina, I mean, when she fought Carolina, she got handily beaten, so she has a pretty clear ceiling.
There you go. So, all right, so we've done all 12 fights. Let's get to the fun stuff. This guy was not expecting to come on, so I'll give him a little bit of pass if he doesn't have a list on this, but he's done really well covering the fights. The one thing, dude, you know what's got to be on the Bears list? Your gimmick, my man. Your gimmick is on the Bears list now. It's cut. You can't play the troll anymore.
Yeah,
that's it. It's gone. We got to retire the troll. We'll have to find it. Either that you have to change your name. Change your name on YouTube so we don't know it's you.
I'll let you know if I do. I don't really like my name anymore.
We have the awards. We had a fight. Do you know the awards by any chance?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so we have a fight of the night and 2 performances of the night.
2 performances. So you're like supposed to guess it?
Yeah. Well, I'll have you give you. No, you don't have to guess it. Like what you think the UFC did, but more of what would you do if you you're Dana White, you have money, you're giving out. What would you do for a fight of the night?
For fight of the night, I'll probably give it to the Vanessa and Dakota fight.
Yeah, I agree. I thought it was the best fight of the night too.
Yeah,
it was a war. They didn't do that. They gave it to the main event. They gave it to Murphy Barboza, and I think this is more of they wanted to give Murphy a bonus.
Barboza got his ass beat.
That's how I feel. It's not like I saw people on Twitter. I saw the Nina drama girl there posting, "Oh, what a fight!" And I'm like, "Was it like?" Do you watch a hammer?
That was closer to a clinic than a.
Yeah, do you watch a hammer smashing a nail and going, "Oh, that was entertaining"? So yeah, I think they got that one wrong, but that's okay. The performances, what would you give for performances?
I'd say pretty straightforward. Yanez and Chaos Williams.
That's exactly how I had it. They did not. They went Chaos Williams, but Giannis did not get a performance. They went Angela Hill, which
Oh, I forgot about that.
to me that's more of an emotional than the actual performance. Like that now, because she got her first sub. But yeah, she got her first sub, but wouldn't she have rather have knocked out, have a spectacular knockout like Giannis did?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, she did over a good solid opponent. I mean,
Yeah, I'm okay with Hill getting it. I mean, it is what it is. But I kind
I'd
of
say
feel
it's
like
pretty even. It's pretty even. I'm not against it.
yeah, like when Giannis said, "Oh, so I got two checks," talking about his, his show up check and then his win check, and he goes, and hopefully the third one. Like I thought I was like,
Oh.
I thought it was like, it's a lock for a third one. Like you just face planted the guy.
I feel like the UFC hate when they say that. Like Brandon Royval was like there was like one time like Royval was like, I'm working like 2 jobs or something after like he subbed Tim Elliott and then he didn't get the bonus.
I know. They're talking about the ranked opponent, but all right. So she beat the number 9, but like, all right. First of all, like Lona Pinero was not the 9th. Like, yeah, maybe maybe UFC said they were the best.
It's because of Watterson's like
beating Michelle Watterson, who hasn't won a fight herself in probably like 5 years.
Inflated ranking. Watterson's inflated ranking. That's why.
Yeah, it's just not the same. Like you're talking about 2 different divisions. You're talking about one of the best men's divisions, super deep, versus like just the rankings in a women. It's so much easier to become ranked in a women's division than it is in a men's division. And by the way, guys, Luana Pinero is not ranked. I just checked.
In like the Sherdog rankings?
Yeah, because that's the only ones that matter.
Oh.
Stop talking. You know how Sherdog rankings matter? You know the people who actually vote on it. Ben Duffy, Jay Petrie, who else? Mike Fridley, like guys who matter in this. Who votes in the UFC rankings? They don't grab Big Marcel to vote. They don't. All right, that's it. Marcel is banned. Marcel is. First of all, I understand Marcel is like a young kid, but the Sherdog rankings been around a lot longer than the UFC rankings.
Oh, damn! You gonna take that?
And just as a what's this MMA fighting ranking? Oh, you mean some website?
Thing.
Oh, you mean some website that didn't exist, but only exists because of Sherdog? So, all right. We get. I know Marcel's trolling. He's picking up your job there, trolling. All right, let's go on. Let's do the cut list. Do you have anybody for the cut list? I have two.
I have.
So the way the cut list works is both me and my man Bob Shimson, both have someone on the cut list. We give the UFC permission to get rid of them.
I have 4.
All right, let's hear them because I only have 2, so I'm saving some.
Clayton Rodriguez, give him some time to develop on the regional scene. Maybe develop some fight IQ.
Yep, the dude's 1-3 in the UFC. He's missed weight twice in those.
He's unreliable. He got the Tyra fight canceled. Yeah, he's unreliable.
Yeah, imagine what he would have done to him.
Yeah,
especially on the ground after we just saw. So yeah, people are complaining about you. It just keeps getting darker and darker. Like, what is going on over there? Someone not pay the bills. Like you first started, you had these bright white walls, and now it's like it felt like the death that Gorimba was talking about. Colin Kuhn got you. It's doing it again.
Oh, he's gonna come from Miami.
All right, who was your second one, Jen?
Vidal.
Who'd you say?
Vidal. Tamaris Vidal, the person Gatto fought.
Yeah, that division is so shallow. I saved her. I thought about it because she's not good. She's not good, but I did save. I'm giving her one more. Yeah, but like, I'm okay with it. Okay. We both have Warley House, right?
Oh. No, I don't have Worley Alves.
Oh, you saved Worley. You wanted the Worley. So who was the other one you had? Let me guess. Salvador?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought about the problem with Salvador, he's so fun. Like his fight's gonna be wild.
He had pretty two boring fights. CJ Vergara, that was a terrible fight, and
But not because of him, but it was because of Vergara. He was coming out throwing bombs. He was trying to take people's heads off.
he was trying to do his Anderson Silva impression against Vergara. He actually
was throwing bombs, dude.
He was like doing
bombs.
He was throwing
bombs, dude.
He was not excited. I expected him to.
You're a hater.
No, he was trying to do his little outfighter impression. He was like trying to fight like an outfighter. He was doing that against Altamirano, but it didn't work.
All right, who was the other one you had?
Let's I think
I got another person for the cut list.
Choco.
I got another one. I got another person for the cut list. Bob Simpson. He took too long. He's cut. I'm just kidding. Sorry.
Victor Martinez.
Oh yeah. Victor Martinez. I'm sorry. Yeah. Victor Martinez, definitely good call. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't have him on the list. So all right, we have 3. No, you saved Worley out. So we only had 2: Rodriguez and Victor Martinez. Let's do. I'm sure you don't have any dudes seriously, so I'll throw some dudes seriouslys out there for people. Vidal coming down to the cage looking like she was at a Pentecostal church. Like, dude, seriously? What was that? She was walking out. I was like, oh my God. Maybe she knew what Grimmer was going to say later on. Your boy Tukes kept talking about, I'm not breathing as hard as him. He said it 3 different times.
Who said that?
Your boy Tukes kept saying it when he was getting beat by Sai. He kept saying over to his corner, I'm not breathing as hard as him. Like, yeah, you know why you're not breathing as hard as me? Because at one point he's choking you so you can't breathe. Like, dude, seriously? Dude, how about the broadcast sounds? Did you catch that? The Slack sound on 2 different times?
I the commentary a lot.
Oh, at 2 different times you could hear like the sound if you're in a Slack group and you get a Slack update. Some like post in Slack and you have the volume on. I heard it twice. And then during Piero Rodriguez's entrance, they started playing the song. You know when they do the face off, they do the tail of the tape and the song that they play. That started playing during her entrance, and then they had to turn that off. Like, I don't know who was doing the production then, but dude, seriously. And the last one, who was it? I'm sorry. This is how bad the nickname is. I don't remember who. Oh, it was the guy in the main event, Lerone Murphy. Dude, Lerone Murphy said he's going to change his name from the Miracle to the Iceman. You're going to go with the Iceman? Dude, seriously? The Iceman? Like, I don't even have to say why.
Yeah, not Chuck Liddell, though, bro.
Like, I got to say why that's a bad idea. That'd be like I don't know. Anyways. That'd be like a basketball player coming to the NBA and, like, having a really good game. But that's it, man. From now on, you're going to call me Air. My nickname is Air. Or my nickname is the Black Mamba or something like, or the Dream or Magic or something like.
That'd be disgraceful.
All right, let me read some of the dudes seriously from the comments. We had some pretty good ones. Yeah, John Butterfield does the same one as me with the dudes seriously. With he's breathing hard.
They're trying to cut you.
Damn. Ben Cooley. Yeah, I'm not reading that one. Sorry. Yeah, nice call. I almost mentioned this. Good job. Big Marcelo mentioned that Cruz saying Giannis shouldn't load up to land a KO the same moment he landed a knockout. Yeah. John Butterfield is trying to cut me. I don't know why. Maybe I should turn the lights off to fit. All right, let's get to the Bulls and the Bears. The Bulls and the Bears are a stock market reference. You want to be on the Bulls list. You don't want to be on the Bears list. We do it hockey style. 3, 2, 1. Do you have any Bulls and Bears? I know you put me on the spot.
You do yours first.
All right. Let's do the actually, I'll do them both, and then you can throw in either one you want. So usually me and Ben go back and forth, but I'll do both. Let's go positive. My number 3 for Bulls. I mean, it's got to be Chaos Williams. The guy's he's 6-2 now. He's won 4 out of 5. Co-main event, so the biggest slot he's had. Got a knockout in a fight that was very close on paper. And now I'm saying that he should face a guy that was previously ranked near the top 15. So Chaos Williams, to me, his stock has really rose. My number 2, she's won 3 out of 4. Her first submission ever, Angela Hill. I mean, I'm not believing her, but it's starting to get hard to deny her too. So I'll say Angela Hill. And my number 1, I mean, it's got to be Lerone Murphy. The guy's undefeated. He's 6-0-1 in the UFC. He beat a big name in Edson Barboza. Main event. He not only did he beat him, but he 50-44, 50-43. I mean, it was a thrashing. And he just got despite not getting a stoppage and killing it, getting a lopsided decision, he got fight of the night bonus, get another $50K for that. So very good night for your British friend Lerone Murphy. As far as Bears go, I'm gonna go Emily Ducote. Though I thought she should have won this fight, but again, very, very close. She lost 3 out of 4. I mean, this was someone who kind of was starting to make people believe in her. Not that short, probably about 4 fights ago, people were starting to say, wow, she looked good. She lost 3 out of 4, so she's really fallen behind. She was a big favorite heading into this fight. She was like a 3 or 4-1 favorite. I did slam that Vanessa Demopoulos pick. Thank you guys. Clifton Rodriguez, now 1-3. All the stuff we said, missed weight twice. His stock. We got it. Was a pretty exciting prospect coming in. I mean,
he's so athletic. I really like his kicks.
He's got to learn how to wrestle. He's got to learn how to wrestle, or find a way to get up and bottom. And my last, the person who stocked just really plummeted. Luana Pinheiro. I mean, she's lost back-to-back fights, stopped in both, and then add on the fact that she missed her brother's wedding, and probably put a little bit of a sour taste. Supposedly they were showing her fight at the wedding, and as soon as the fight was going to end, her future sister-in-law was going to walk down the aisle. Yeah, that probably was I
wouldn't tap if I were her.
You just got your ass kicked, and now the rest of the family be like, all right, let's celebrate this wedding. Man, that's not a good night for Luana Pinheiro. You have any?
For my Bears, I would add. For me, I'd have Carlston Harris. He was on a really good run. He was 4-1 in the UFC. He was on a really underrated win streak. He derailed Jeremiah Wells. Got a solid win over Jared Gooden. Beat Impa, and his only loss was Shavkat. So if he beat Chaos Williams, he would have probably parlayed his way into a top 15. An opportunity to fight for someone in the rankings. He was on a big spot, on a co-main event, and now he's 36 now. I don't think he's ever gonna regain momentum.
The co-main event might have been the highlight of his career.
Yeah, unfortunately, or getting wheel kicked by Shavkat.
Yeah. Yeah. What would be his highlight? What would be his highlight moving forward? Yeah.
And that's what people remember him.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough. Fair enough. As far as a grade, what was your grade for the card?
I give it a C.
Yeah.
C minus.
I go C plus just because there's some memorable things getting punched in the tit. That's a new one. So
it was just very low level. I felt like it was really low level.
It was very low level.
Apex.
Obviously, we're grading on a curve. This is when you give a C, but you're teaching a first grade class, so it's it is what it is. RC Kim goes C minus. Big Marcel goes 6 out of 10. I'm assuming that's 6 out of 10 and not 6 out of 20 or 100 or something like that. All right. Usually the toughest question of the night is who is the listener of the night. This one's pretty easy. I'm giving it to my man Bob Simpson, stepping up.
Yeah.
Make sure what's your Twitter? Tell everyone your Twitter so everyone can follow you.
He's the one of one.
And it's with the number 1. So you got to put
follow my IG. Follow my IG.
Okay, there you go. Shout that out.
Linden.101.
Hey guys, I want to make this announcement. This will be the very last Shillan and Duffy show, as they got to fire me for letting Bob Simpson come on here. No, he did it extremely well. I thought he was going to troll. He did not troll. He just threw his Instagram in the chat. So make sure you guys go in there. If you listen to this the next day, go in there, give him a follow. So thank you, Bob. I was a little worried about letting you on. You did extremely well. We'll be back. We actually have a week off. So both me and Ben, listen, having Bob coming in right now was probably the best way to finish up the if you guys didn't check for the previous show, it was actually one of my favorite previous shows we've done because it was super crazy and wacky. We went down.
There's so much sidetracking.
Huh?
They got sidetracked so much.
Yeah, I enjoy doing this. So me and Ben, like, we don't pre-talk anything ever. Like, we're like, hey, what's going on, man? How you doing? No, we'll talk in between fights. Like Ben will, like, he tapes and he shuts it off when we talk, but we never talk about what's coming up next on the fight. We might just ramble about something, or I'll tell him a story about what's going on my week, or vice versa. But we don't. So when we go on sidetrack, that wasn't planned. It's what happened. Story time with Keith wasn't planned. It's just something he said made me think of something. So I actually enjoy those than just talking about the fight, especially when it's like, listen, you give me UFC 300, like, I'm going to be excited. You give me something like this, I gotta find ways to entertain myself. So, but we have a week off. I want to wish everybody a happy Memorial Day. There'll be people who celebrate that in America. Obviously, it's always bittersweet to say happy Memorial Day because we're celebrating those, remembering those who died for our freedoms here in America. So obviously, think about those people and our freedoms. But after that, we'll be back. UFC 302 preview. That is the big Islam Makhachev versus Dustin Poirier card. I'll put you on the spot. We don't do previews on the recap show, but I'm going to put you on the spot. Who wins and how?
I got Makhachev. I think he's gonna TKO him ground and pound.
All right, what round?
3. 3.
All right, there you go. So take
all your money. At a grad party. I'm gonna be watching this pay-per-view at a grad party, so I'm just gonna get
at a grad party.
Yeah, it's gonna be lit.
Are you graduating yourself?
Yeah.
Oh, congratulations, my man.
Yeah.
When's your last day of school?
It's like May 31st.
May 31st. So you really only have a couple days.
Yeah, but we have there's still technically school for everyone else like the first week of June, but it's like senior skip week. So
What's the plans after school?
I'm about to go to college, and then I want to be a doctor, so I'm gonna work on get past the MCAT, just work towards going to med school.
All right, so
start studying for it.
All right, I don't know listen. Bob can troll, but Bob Simpson coming in saying he's going to be a doctor. That was the biggest troll job of the night. So we're going to end on that. Congratulations. Poor Bob Simpson missed his prom tonight to watch this card. So
my senior ball was earlier this month.
Yeah, that was just a joke. Yeah. All right, guys. We'll see you next week.